Well, this morning we are in John chapter 11. John chapter 11, and it's another fairly familiar story, the story of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. And we are going to look once more with fresh eyes, take a new look at this story, this gospel story of Jesus and the things that he did and said. So let's look at John chapter 11, starting in verse 1. Now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair. So the sisters sent word to Jesus, "Lord, the one you love is sick." When Jesus heard this, he said, "This sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it." Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. Yet when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. Then he said to his disciples, "Let us go back to Judea." "But Rabbi, they said a short while ago the Jews there tried to stone you, and yet you are going back there?" Jesus answered, "Are there not 12 hours of daylight? A man who walks by day will not stumble, for he sees the world by the world's light. It is when he walks by night that he stumbles, for he has no light." After he had said this, he went on to tell them, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to wake him up." His disciples replied, "Lord, if he sleeps, he'll get better." Jesus had been speaking of death, but his disciples thought he meant natural sleep, so he told them plainly, "Lazarus is dead. And for your sake I am glad I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him." Then Thomas, called Didymus, said to the rest of the disciples, "Let us also go, that we may die with him." You had to love these disciples when they open their mouths and say things unaware, but at least he was enthusiastic. "Let us go so that we can also die with him." On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Okay, so I'm going to pause there and just do timeline here. Okay, this was something that was new to me in reading this story, in considering how far away Jesus was when he received this message, that he waited 2 days, and then traveled on to Bethany, and when he got there, Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. It says that Jesus was where John had been baptizing. And if you look back, there's a couple different places where John was baptizing. We're not 100% sure where Jesus was, but John, it mentions specifically that he had baptized near Aenon, near Salim. And Salim is about 45 miles from Bethany, which is about 2.5 to 3 days walk. Okay, 2.5 to 3 days walk, plus the 2 days that Jesus stayed, is 5 days. And when they got there, Lazarus had been in the tomb 4 days. It had always seemed really kind of cold-hearted that Jesus had stayed where he was for 2 more days before he left to go to Bethany. But the truth is, even if he had dropped everything and left that second, Lazarus would have still been dead when he got there. He still would have been dead for over a day when Jesus got there. Now the difference is between him being dead for a day and a half versus being dead for 4 days is that if he had been dead for like a day, it would have been possible for people to say, he wasn't really dead. He wasn't really dead. He was just in a coma. He wasn't really dead. The sisters were just hiding him, pretending that he was dead so that they could say that Jesus healed him. It would have still been called a healing, but it wouldn't have necessarily been called a resurrection. By staying where he was for 2 more days, it ensured that when he got there, there would be no doubt at all that Lazarus was truly dead. It seemed cold-hearted to me when I would read this story, but it makes sense that Jesus would not have been able to get there before his death. He was going to be dead anyways. In fact, when he talks to his disciples after 2 days, he says to them plainly, Lazarus is already dead. Lazarus is already dead. There's no way that he could have made it to his side before his death. When his disciples question him, there are all of these storylines that are intersecting here in this one place. Jesus had been in Jerusalem for the Feast of Dedication, and he said that he was God's son, and people were trying to literally grab him and take him out and stone him. It was a direct, immediate threat on his life. It wasn't just a plot. It wasn't just rumors. Jesus said some stuff, and it made some people really angry. So when he says we're going to go back, the disciples go, wait. Wait. This is not what we want. Didn't we just leave there because they were going to kill you? We don't want them to kill you because. And Jesus says to them, aren't there 12 hours of daylight? The person who walks in the daytime won't stumble because he sees by the world's light. Jesus knows that they are trying to kill him. He knows all about it. He has the information. He has the light. He can see plainly where the danger is. He said it's when you don't have the light, when it's dark, that's when you stumble. When you have the light, when you know what's going on, when you can see clearly the things happening around you, you're able to walk because you can see. It's when it's dark that you stumble. After he said this, he went on to tell them, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep. And the disciples again, if he sleeps, he'll get better. We get this perspective because we know the story, how comic these things sound. But isn't that what you and I would say? Especially if we knew that going back someplace would be dangerous. Don't wake him up, Jesus. If he sleeps, he'll get better. But Jesus was talking about death. Lazarus is dead. And for your sake, I'm glad I wasn't there. So that you can believe, but now we're going to go to him. And so Thomas says, let us go too, so that we can die with him. So on his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had been in the tomb for 4 days. Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, and this locates us 2 miles from the danger zone. 2 miles from where people were just trying to kill him. And many Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them in the loss of their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed at home. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Isn't that our response when things happen in our lives? God, you said that you're with me. If you were really with me, then why did this bad thing happen? Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And she says to him this statement, even though I don't think she knows what she's saying. She says, but I know that even now, God will give you whatever you ask. She doesn't believe that Jesus is going to raise her brother from the dead. She doesn't know that yet. I don't know what it is that she is wanting him to do. I don't know that she knows what she wants him to do. If you had been here, this awful thing wouldn't have happened, but even now I know that God will give you whatever you ask. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Martha answered, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. And Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even though he dies, and whoever lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? She says, my brother will rise again resurrection on the last day. And Jesus said, I am the living, walking embodiment of every resurrection that God will ever perform. I am the resurrection and the life. Yes, Lord, she told him, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who was to come into the world. And after she said this, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. The teacher is here, and he's asking for you. And when Mary heard this, she got up quickly and ran to him. Now Jesus had not yet entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. When those who had been with Mary in the house, comforting her, noticed how quickly she got up and went out, they followed her, supposing she was going to the tomb to mourn there. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and she said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. If you've ever been in that place where something bad in your life has happened and you said, God, where were you? You are not alone. You are not alone, not once, but twice in this story. We find people who have an intimate relationship with Jesus, a personal friendship with Jesus, saying to him, where were you? I needed you. Where were you? And Jesus does not rebuke either one of these sisters. He doesn't call them silly women. He doesn't tell them to quiet their hysterics. He doesn't pat them on the head. He engages with them in their pain. He engages with them in their pain. Mary said, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And when Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews also who had come along with her weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. If you think that when you're in pain, that God is somehow stony-hearted and cold, think again. When you and I are in pain, Christ enters into our pain with us. That's what it means when we study Hebrews and it said, we have a high priest who is not unable to sympathize with our human weakness because he's experienced everything that we have experienced. Christ enters into our pain with us. We can take our pain to him and it is safe. It is safe. We don't take our pain to God and have him go, well, that's what you get. We don't take our pain to God and have him go, oh, that's no big deal. We don't take our pain to God to be dismissed. We take our pain to God, and Christ enters our pain with us. Jesus was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. Where have you laid him? He asked. Come and see, Lord, they replied. And Jesus wept. Why did Jesus weep? Why? He knew, he told his disciples, this sickness does not end with death. He knew why he was there. He knew what he was going to do. And yet he wept. He wept for the pain of the people that were around him. Not out of despair and out of hopelessness, but out of empathy. He wept for the people who were suffering around him. He entered into their pain with them. Jesus wept. And those in the Jewish community said, see how he loved him. But some of them said again, could he who opened the eyes of the blind man, couldn't he have kept this man from dying? There's 3 times. 3 times. Where was he? Why didn't he stop this? Why couldn't he have intervened? Why couldn't he have gotten here sooner? Why didn't he step in more quickly? Why did Lazarus have to die? It's our natural human response. It's a question that people are still asking today as they walk through anything and everything that is difficult and hard. Why did you do something about it? Where were you, God? Where were you? Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. "Take away the stone," he said. "But Lord," said Martha, the sister of the dead man, "by this time there is a bad odor because he has been there for 4 days." And Jesus said, "Did I not tell you that if you believed you would see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up and said, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said this, Jesus called out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" The dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and cloth around his face. Jesus said to them, "Take off the grave clothes and let him go." Let him go. Many of the Jews who had come to visit Mary and seen what Jesus did for their faith in him. I would too. Yeah. I would too. Any person that we had put in the ground and 4 days later someone had raised them from the dead, I would fall at their feet. Jesus came to this place. He said, "This is for God's glory. This is so that the Son of God may be glorified through it." We've talked before about this definition of glory, that glory is literally shining a light on, shining a spotlight on. This is so that God would have a light shone on him, on his activity in the world. This is so that the spotlight would be on Jesus, the Son of God, so that people could see him for who he truly is, not just a teacher, not just another good guy who has some good things to say, but the Son of God. This is to reveal who Jesus is. Like the blind man from last week's story, who was born blind, and his disciples said, "Who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" And Jesus said what? He said, "No, that's not the way this works. This happened so that God could be lifted up and glorified. This happened so that God's work would be shown in the life of this person." It's the same thing here. Jesus did not kill Lazarus. Okay? By staying where he was, he did not speed his death. He could not have gotten there in time. I know that there are some who would say that everything, every bad thing in your life, God put that there too. I will tell you that sometimes things happen because we live in a broken world. We have sickness in our bodies. We're plagued by things like cancer and immune systems that aren't able to fight off certain diseases. Our bodies break down and wear out over time. These are things that happen. But even in the midst of these things that happen, God wants to be at work, using them for positive growth in our lives, using them to reveal himself, using them as a spotlight to shine on his goodness and on his mercy. On his goodness and his mercy in the midst of brokenness. Every one of us have gone to God and said, "Where were you? Where were you when this happened in my life?" And I want to encourage you that when you feel that way, take it to the Lord. That's the right place to take it. Don't rage to your friends. Rage to the Lord. The psalmist certainly did. Not one of them, to my knowledge, was struck down for it. When you're going through difficult times, when your heart says, "God, where are you?" say it to God. Because it's in those moments that God can say, "I am right here." Jesus wept with the sisters, with the community in their loss. Christ enters into our pain. He feels deeply with us in those moments of brokenness. But regardless of what we've walked through, regardless of the things in our lives, Jesus is alive and active right now, right here, in our lives. And he carries with him the resurrection and the life. He carries with him the power to take this broken thing and mend it. To take this broken thing in our lives and use it to spotlight God. To give us a chance to experience good and God at work in our lives. God can take the broken, the most desperate circumstance that we have encountered and use it to say to us, I'm here with you. I'm here with you. And allow us to grow. We're going to end our time of worship this morning, singing hymn number 112, Give It On.